I'm here. Give me a minute. Let's let the room get filled up. Share the space, like it, comment, do what you do. All right. What's up, everybody? It's been a minute since I've hosted a space. I think it's been, I don't even know how long, uh, maybe 4 weeks. It's good to see all you guys. I'm glad everyone's here. Super bullish on everything going on with the community and the ecosystem and how we're all coming together, right? So it's really cool to see everybody here. For those of you listening later, I'm going to try to keep this, fairly short, under an hour is the goal. But guys, if you want to grab a mic, feel free to come up here, and we'll give everybody a chance to speak a little bit and ask any questions, talk about your experience with JFK. Been a long journey, so 8 months. I'm sure everybody's got something to say, uh, to some degree, right? So definitely want to hear what everybody's got to say as well. I am going to invite uh, the homies. Little gold checks next to their name helps bring a little bit more people in the room as well. But I don't want to have to keep explaining myself, at least to the community, all the time. So hopefully this helps give everyone an understanding of what's going on and where we're headed. Um, but guys, I mean, I can't say enough just how insane this is. We're at 145K right now. A lot of action over the last 2, 3 days for sure. We're at 24,000 volume for the 24-hour mark, right? We're down 8.5% on the 6 hour and 7.5% of that's on the 1 hour. I'm going to assume some of these sales were flips into other things, and I could probably tell you for certain, but I'm not going to bore you with all the schematics. I obviously hype the price. I hype the market cap. I hype the holder volume. But that is not my day-to-day focus with what we're doing here and how we're growing and how we're able to sustain life over a short or over a long amount of time, right? So JFK is definitely more than just about price action and where we're headed, although that does follow when you start building a solid foundation in a great community. But we have a lot of cool stuff going on. Um, we've got we've got the green squares minting right now. We've got people staking. Obviously, this is a new feature. I've had some bugs, but everybody that's staked, you will be taken care of. Worst come to worst, I'll just airdrop all y'all. Probably more than what you're in staking anyways. So no worries there. Don't fret. It's not an accumulative stake based on how much coins you hold. It's a daily allotted amount. That way you're receiving based on just staking. Why do I have you staking those? I believe NFTs are a tool. I think it raises awareness. I think it makes some interaction, and I want to give our strong community members that believed in us and grabbed those squares early an opportunity to earn rewards in JFK, right? So just really important to find ways to give back. Been doing a lot of this, has been long planning, some of this planned from the beginning, and some of this as we go, growing and adapting, evolving into what exists in the market. But um, those green squares are very significant to people that really want to be involved in the JFK space. You don't have to have them. It's an added value. It's a tool for you to use, but I have a lot of cool things planned for the green squares. So that is Solana Green. For those of you who don't know, we own Solana Green's color codes .souls. We own the tags. We do have the green one with an underscore, but it's an unused tag. I just can't get it from Elon, so we make do with that one. But the purple, we do own the tag as well as the .soul, which I think is bullish and definitely a chess play over a checkers play, right? But most importantly, I just want to make sure everybody's having a good time. This is it's absolutely unheard of what we're doing here. And this isn't something where I believe that, I don't want praises. I don't need them. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm really doing this for the community, for what JFK stands for, and for the reason that I launched it in the first place. So I'll do a quick rewind and just kind of go over very very short and sweet. And if you guys have questions, or if anybody thinks I missed out an important detail or something fun along the way that you would like to bring up, 8 months, there's a lot to remember in 8 months. So I don't know that I'm going to touch everything, but these are some things that really stand out to me and things that were important, milestones for us, and just hardships that we overcame and things like that. So for those of you who don't know, I posted, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm tired of the cabals. I'm tired of the ruin in every coin, the Jeters. But it was the Jeters that were doing it wrong, right? Like people that were taking advantage of us and clearly just utilizing the fact that we have diamond hands in our communities. Um, I I didn't want to see that continue to happen. So I came up with this weird idea, and I said I was going to run a play. Didn't tell anybody what the play was, and I just said send one soul to this wallet, and a lot of people sent soul. I want to say there were 71 people that sent soul to the wallet. So we had about, man, I want to somehow we had a little over 71 souls. So I don't know if anybody sent extra. I think we ended up dropping to allow some people to come in at like 0.25. Anyways, no one knew what it was for. No one knew what the fuck I was doing. I'm sure there was plenty of speculation and assumptions on what I was going to do, but I did not make that clear to anybody. And it was really cool to see so many people believed in just the idea of creating change in this space and that wanted to be a part of that. And to me, that was just like one of the more kind of magical moments um, that sparked something really great and really big, which is what you see today as JFK. Um, after I did the play, I left it open for a while. I hyped it up. I showed how many people sent. People were getting excited that sent. They were pushing it. It was a lot of fun, and they started getting. I think a lot of people started getting antsy because I took a while, um, which was kind of all part of the fun and anticipation of it all. I then created an account with some question marks, had everybody follow it, put some fake name up in there. Can't remember what it was anymore, to be honest. But you know, that was the starting point. We got a ton of followers. It was a methodical way to hype up something without everybody knowing, but assuming, but having no clue at the same time, and with no promises. And no expectations, right? And sure enough, I dropped JFK on pump. I took half of that sold that was sent, and I bought 60 something percent of the allocation, which seems to be trendy these days. So maybe we're just a little ahead of the trend now that we're seeing like Trump and Melania and all those coins come out, and I think it's a smart way to do things, and I think it's actually extremely advantageous for the token itself to allow some control from the founder to make it acceptable and easy to work with without so much cheating. And it worked. I slowly dropped everybody their allocation, which was 5 million tokens. And then I believe it was 1.5 or something like that for the 0.25. And I did it slowly, I did it manually, and we made sure that everything worked properly. And we held over 100K for a while. And we did a lot of moving and grooving. I found I found that there are people in here that really wanted to help promote this and move. So I did a play. I called it a whale play. And again, this one was tinsel, and there was I think 8 people that sent tinsel to the wallet. I think someone sent twice, but they probably used 2 different wallets. So that's how JFK started. That's how we became this movement for the people. But the reality is, guys, like the whole reason I started this is I don't believe in the traditional way that we run meme coins. I don't really believe in the traditional way we run most NFT collections out here either. And I personally don't like the idea of gambling all the time. Although it is fun to gamble periodically on some memes and have a good time. And if you can afford to lose it, use it, whatever. Hope you had your rush and maybe you get lucky and hopefully you did, right? But we're really coming to a pivotal point, and I think what is most unique about everything is that we were just a little ahead of our time in our thought process here, really holding the line, really bringing everybody together, and the line's been held. I mean, we dropped a 20K market cap back in September, early September, maybe even a little sooner, and we sat and I pushed and we sat, and the community pushed and we sat, and people held. But there were people that weren't part of the holding, the original group that weren't holding. Um, and we had to fight back, and we did. We jumped up, all the way from 20 to 100, I think 107. Then we took our dip back down slowly until we just took this massive rip, right? And I'm a big believer in energy and what we see out here and how it works and how motion creates motion and manifesting your reality is a real thing and that's what we're doing out here with JFK. We shouldn't be here. We by all odds actually should not exist at all. FRN's another good example in here of someone who's made it past the feet of what's considered a traditional cycle of a meme in general. And rug or not, memes don't last 8 months long, traditionally speaking. Grok couldn't give me an exact answer, but they put us in the I think like 2% range of all meme coins ever in the history of meme coins to make it 8 months. But it had it at 6 or 3 months. It didn't even give me an 8 months. I'm pretty sure if you go to 8, probably sitting around like a 0.5% of all coins that launch make it 8 months with action still, with movement, with community, with building, with dev not leaving. Um, it's been a very humbling experience, guys, because the more we keep pushing this and the more I realize how much of an impact this can truly make on the world, the more I believe in what we started and why we started it and the fact that we're going to continue to go so much higher. So I think the biggest deal is like when you look at a lot of these tokens, it's all about money. Um, if you're focused on money in life in general, you're not going to ever make the money you want to make. I mean, it just usually isn't going to happen. You can set goals, you can work your hardest, but if money's your only driver, money comes and goes, and unfortunately, you're going to live a very miserable life. So I really have enjoyed just pushing the idea of the movement itself and allowing the price action to follow based on bringing in more holders, getting more people to be part of the movement, really explaining to people what we're doing here. So, with that said, somewhere in between all that, we launched the green squares. I wanted to launch the green squares because I didn't want to do a PFP collection. In the traditional sense at least. And I thought the green squares was awesome because we had the color code, right? Like how cool to have the color code of Solana when everyone's on Solana and no one has the color code but us. Like super wild. Some coins have launched after that have used the color code, but I don't think anyone knows what the fuck the color code is. So I don't think it's ever really held a whole lot of teeth overall. Um, but the NFTs guys, they just held them. There's very few listed. Everybody's staking them. We have 137 of them staked. I'm sure some people that hold them are just not present right now, and when they find out, they'll begin to stake them as well. When we opened it up, I did have a high amount per day that everybody was able to get, and that was 250 a day. I've gone into a cool down period for the moment, and we're doing 10 a day. That is a fluctuating number. I'll be honest with you, I'm never going to explain why or how it fluctuates, but at some point it'll click for you guys and it'll make a lot of sense. Just know that I've been talking to the dev team though about you guys not seeing your and being able to claim when it reset. It's all still there. They see it. So it's a UI issue. We are dealing with some new tech here. There's a lot of cool things coming. There's some guy named Upgrade that keeps hitting me up. I don't know what the fuck his deal is, but I'm wondering, who is this Upgrade guy and why does he exist? And what the hell does he have to do with my NFTs? But he's there and he's wanting to come out. So soon I'll introduce you guys to him. There's some missions we're going to go on. We've got a lot to accomplish out here, so I wanted to make sure that we had some missions to go on, and that'll be for the NFT holders. They're 0.06 SOL, nothing crazy. You might want to wait until congestion goes down a smidge, or might not matter much with a 0.06 buy, but I know the network fees were actually fairly high today on Solana. And, a lot of people have a big misunderstanding about what Trump is doing and why. And I'm not going to pretend to know like I'm inside his head or that I talk to his team, but just I have some really good educated guesses because it kind of falls in line with my thought process out here. And I think it's a multitude of things, but I think there's a couple core reasons why he did what he did. I think one, he wanted to prove that you can just drop a token and the value is the value based on how people interpret it, right? And he proved that with Trump, right? Like absolutely insane what's happened there. But it goes much deeper than that. He tied it to USDC, but he launched on pump. So the original liquidity pool was launched on pump, right? So that means it was tied to Sol. So they had to have physically created a USDC pool with a shit ton of money and tied it. And when they did that, I believe that there's a reason for that. I believe it's a huge, huge thing that he's done. And he's showing us something that a lot of us just kind of might have overlooked. Liquidity pools are complicated enough as it is for most people, but they're not that complex if you really dig into them and you start to understand them. And when it clicks, you're like, holy shit. So when he tied this liquidity pool together to USDC, he's tied it to our dollar because that's stable to our dollar. And I believe that with that much growth and continuous growth and movement through the USDC pool, he actually is adding value to our dollar. Um, I know it might sound crazy, but I think that's what we're going to find out over time. And if I'm wrong, fuck me, I'm wrong. But pretty sure, just based on my limited knowledge of liquidity pools, that actually has some teeth there. And so he's stabilizing. In essence, he would be stabilizing his coin with the dollar, but at the same time, because of the amount of movement and volatility and the amount of actual market cap of that token and the potential market cap it can hit, he's actually stabilizing the dollar with his own token. Pretty nuts. And then he said, well, fuck, let's do Millennium next. And here we are. And same thing with Millennium. It's tied to USDC. So I see something here and I think it's really, really cool what's going on. Do I know for sure? No, but I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Might be a little off or explaining it incorrectly, but I think that that's something really cool that's going on here. But what does that matter to us, and why the fuck do you care about it with JFK? I think the main reason we care about that is because we have been tying to liquidity pools. I've looked into exotic pairing for a long time, but for the life of me, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And then our good buddy FRN hit me up and was like, hey, dude, we've been tying liquidity pairs to coins that we find of value and that we trust and know aren't going to like rug and mess up our token. And so we paired up together and we shit, he went as far as to create the pool for us, bought the JFK, created the pool, spent the point two soul to tie it together, and then sent me FRN to then tie more to the pool so that we could earn off of it. And that's what I think we're going to see in the future. I think that's what real collaborations are going to look like in tokens. And so then when he launched his FMI to tie to FRN and to USDC, ironically, because I think he's probably, and we never talked about this, but he's probably on a similar thought process here. I think he's more so doing it at the moment to stabilize to the dollar so that Sol's not fluctuating his price as much. But I think it was really cool. So I bought some FMI, and then tied it to JFK. We do have an abundance of JFK, and we're using it, but we're using it as a tool. I see it as we created value out of nothing, out of just pure belief, and you know this is a hell of a time to be alive, right? So using these JFKs very cautiously but wisely and with the right people. It was a perfect match to do that with FRN because I know he's been grinding out here and I know that he believes in his cause and not just the price a token go up. And that aligns with me and our community as well. And so that FRM pool, what's really cool about it, guys, is it's been actually creating volume. I would almost argue that it created enough volume to make it to where my posts were able to make an impact when they looked at the chart to start creating that buy again. And that's what's starting to squeeze us back up. Because when we lack in volume, it kind of helps make up for it in volume. Because every time JFK goes up, for example, then FRN has to buy more FRN to make it match the JFK pool, and then vice versa on the other end. So it's creating constant volume. Now, are we doing $100 million tokens yet? No. And are they small buys? Sure. But they're buys and sells nonetheless, and they're evening out that liquidity pool, which is helping us keep active volume on the chart because we do have diamond hand holders. And let's be honest, we don't like to fucking sell. We DCA. We're fucking weird, right? Like, but it's not weird. It's the way you're supposed to do it. It's how some of the best meme coins that have ever been created prior to what we're seeing now in this magical moment of Trump. Um, that's how they exist. That's how they became who they are. And that's why SHIB became SHIB and Doge became Doge. It's, you know, scenarios are different, but at the end of the day, it's all similar in the situation of the community believed, the community held, the community shilled, and they onboarded and they onboarded. And then at one point, it got so big, it was beyond that, right? They became their own true army of a token. And I think that's where we're headed. Um, can't promise you that's where we're headed, but I can tell you that I really, really am excited to see the volatility happening again. I love the volume going on. It's gonna bring us new holders. We're having awesome new people come join us. I joined, the Apes on Ape. There's been a ton of support from them. So, hats off to some of those guys for real. Like that's real motherfuckers helping us, believing in us, joining us, liking what we're doing, liking what we stand for. and becoming part of our movement, right? And that's cross chain stuff because you wouldn't believe it because I couldn't either. I promise. Um, I dropped some of them a green square, and they didn't even have anything on Sol. It's the first thing they've gotten on Sol. So some of these guys were like ETH maxis that went to ape, and they weren't fucking with Solana. So it was cool to see that. What an awesome onboard that is. And then, same thing, like guys were trying to bridge ape to Sol, which you can do, by the way. But we're doing something cool here. Like I don't have to script these. I don't, I have some bullet points that I made in a post to help me, stay on track today. But I'm really hoping that you guys understand, like, I'm very passionate about what we're doing here and how it's for the people, and it's not for the whales, like the real whales. We have some whales in our project, but for the real, like, big time whales out in the market, they're not here. Um, you even see it today, for example. We had a lot of softs this morning. Holy shit, I slept till 9. I didn't post early enough, I guess, for them. But they were only here a day, 2 days, a few hours. Everyone's looking for this quick flip, this magic internet money. I don't believe in it that way. I think it can happen. We see it happen, but we all know, my stance is simple, and I think most of the community lines here, like, we're actually not doing what they do on purpose. So if they want to come in and do that, thanks for the volume. We appreciate it. Might create some dips, which may be opportunities for current people to jump in. But I look at it as awesome opportunities to onboard people. And I think that's where we're kind of at. Is this like the goal for me right now is how do I deliver more for the holders that have been here? And how do I onboard new people so that they can see what we're doing? Because the more eyes on this and the more people understand that this is real, and this isn't just like the hype game and post meme, make money. Like, we want to grow this to $1 billion one day. And I know that's fucking crazy. I'm not stupid. But you know what? Everything I've ever done in life was always crazy when I set the goal. But I always hit it. It takes time. There are some rough times. There are times when you want to curl up in a ball and say, what the fuck am I doing this? Right. And that's what's great about doing this together, because there's days where you guys lift me up in ways you couldn't imagine to stay strong, to continue to build for you. I'm not going to pretend to be, you know, always perfect or anything like that. I'm just like all of you guys. I just dream big and I like to do it. And so if we can do this together, which we are, and we can continue to grow and hold and build, I'm not saying don't take profits. I don't bag shame anybody. I do laugh periodically when I find a funny one where they like bought in, like an hour later they've already sold and they lost $20, or they made $5, and I'm like, fuck, man, if you can trade like that, good for you. But it's still fucking comical, like, I mean, like, what is your time worth? Personally, me, it ain't $5. It really isn't. And so with that said, the time and effort I put into this is very plentiful. But I do it because I believe in you guys. I believe in JFK, and I believe in what we as the people have the power to truly do. And I think we're headed in the right direction. Actually, I know we are. Um, do I know where we're going to sit tomorrow? I don't have a fucking clue. If I had the crystal ball, you guys would see me doing things probably differently. But I do know that I'm going to continue to stay active for you guys. I know the community is here to support each other, and it's getting bigger. And that's what's cool. Like, we had a time where when we were down, some of the holders just bounced for a little while. They didn't sell, they just kind of disappeared, which is fine. But some of us stayed, and we went through it in a small group of people. It was a very small circle, and it was fun. We got to know each other a little bit better. We also just saw who the fuck really, really wanted it, right? Who can deal with the down times? And everybody deals with it different, and some people need a break. Um, but at the end of the day, JFK never leaves. He's on the blockchain. They're copying us. There's a reason for it. They see what we're doing. They know that if we had the reach, we would have a whole lot more volume and holders because the message is real and it's something to be proud of. So everybody here, you should be really proud of yourselves because you've done something. The meme coin itself making 8 months is huge. If you fucking held for 8 months, I don't even want to ask Croc that question because I guarantee you that's a slimmer margin than how many coins fucking make it 8 months. For real. Like new coins launched, people holding for 8 months. I bet Grok would have a funny story to tell you about that. They might even have your name next to crazy in the, but it's a good crazy. And, we go through these journeys and these struggles together. And it only makes us stronger. I hope you guys are all learning in your own ways, not just from me, but from the experience itself. And you're able to put this together and understand like, this is how life works. It's not just crypto and tokens or anything like that. Like you have a whole life to live. You can be free. You can do whatever you put your mind to. If there's something that you've always wanted to do and you know deep down it's the right thing to do for yourself and maybe your family, maybe, maybe it's for a good cause, maybe it's just some fucking crazy idea you have, dude, put it together and start putting it into action. Because I promise you, you'll never know unless you try. And that's where we are today with JFK. We're in this, we never, if we would have quit at 20K, which any sane person would have done, okay? And really any sane person would have done. And it wouldn't make you weird to do it. We wouldn't be here today. We would be off fucking around doing something with other memes and new communities and this and that, but you're here. And you all joined other communities too. And I fucking love that because we should be networking. You should be growing your brand. And if you're going to spend this amount of time on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, like you got to understand, like, yes, you're doing it because you're playing the meme game or the NFT game, but if you're going to spend the time here, you might as well build your brand. You might as well build yourself while you're doing it because I promise you, they can never take that away from you. They can't. That's where your power lies. It's my biggest power. I truly have gone through where I've lost companies, but what never left, mine is my Facebook, and the 100,000 followers on Instagram throughout a couple accounts. But but I'm still me, and I still get to use me as my selling point. And when you can sell yourself as the selling point, life gets a whole lot easier. And it's because of what you do, your actions, how you treat people, and your ability to be determined and push, right? And those things are able to be seen by others, and that's how you build your brand. And that's how you become something different. Now, a lot of people have different ways of building their brand on X. Personally, I don't like to just do engagement posts. I want to connect with you guys. That might be why I lack connection sometimes on here or the growth that I wish I had sometimes because I do put a lot of time and effort into this. But I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with where JFK is. And JFK stands for something, obviously at face value, it's a really simple concept and it kind of gets the point across, right? And it's cool. It's edgy, it's different, right? We're tired of the crypto elite, scammers, and bad actors. It's time to break free with the crypto revolution. This one's for the people. That's our description. I'm not going to change it. I even thought the other day, said, man, I wonder what happens if I put official JFK token, change the fucking banner, pay for some boosts, what would happen? And then I realized if I do that, I have rebranded and sold out to the very thing that I'm fighting against. And that's not fair to anybody. It'd be great for an exit. If we were a company and we were trying to sell, that might be our exit plan. You know what I mean? But that's not the goal here. I want to run this for so long that it becomes a top meme. I want this to be something that you can say, I fucking held this. I stuck through it thick and thin. Together, we overcame every impossible odd that's ever existed in crypto. And that's what's going to make us so much greater than all these other people and all these other tokens, right? And it really is, because that's what sets us apart. It's the story. It's the experiences. Like, for example, nothing against Trump. God love the man. Like, what he just did for crypto, and I think it's hilarious that influencers are crying today about it. They're mad that Trump didn't even do anything. He just launched a millennia coin, and the holders dumped to go over to the millennia coin to make more money. Common sense, right? But they're crying on Twitter. Like, Crypto Bitlord is acting like a little whiny baby with he put his glasses on too. Like, I never seen him do wear glasses. He put on his like reading glasses. He's like, Trump rugged me and we're gonna have to community take over this. Bro, it's that $40 billion market cap. You ain't community taking shit. Like, it ain't happening, dude. So watching these influencers cry about it, I think another guy did today that I saw. But if I go through most of the guys that are dumping on their communities and front running them, I could go through and find that almost all of them are whining. That's just karma, bro. And the irony is, it's not even karma created by anybody. It's just like fucking karma. And I don't feel bad for them. I hope they're not fucking homeless. There's no way they are unless they bought at $40 billion market cap, right? Even if they put their whole bag in there. But I can tell you this, I have zero sympathy for these people that are literally just winning because you guys and all of us people out here, all us normies, go into a token after they call it and then they fucking dump it, right? They might slow dump it. Some of you might make a little coin. But you know who made all the money? Those motherfuckers made all the money. Not even the token itself made the money those fucking assholes make. Just to put that into perspective. Because they get an allocation, and if that ain't fucking enough, right? Because that should be enough. They want soul on top of it. So they're guaranteed money. And then you know what they do with the soul that you give them? Because they know how fucking powerful they are. And I can tell you this firsthand, I've seen it. I can even show you wallets. They go and they buy the token. And then they call it. And while they're calling it, they buy more so that it gets the price action they're looking for. And that's when everyone starts just jumping in, getting excited. And guess who starts dumping? The same asshole that told you to buy it, promised you it was going to fucking moon, right? It's just not a way to live. Some of you are too old for this shit. For real. If you're under 22 years old, I get it. It's fun. You're young. You should just gives a fuck about money. You make it back tomorrow. Like, for real, right? But the older you get, the more you should be a little more conservative with your fucking investments. Unless you have fuck you money to play with or you got an allocation set aside. But that is a gamble, 100%. If you're gambling, this is the other part. And not everyone's going to like me for this. I can't feel bad for you anymore. I've given you too much information, and there's too many other people who've done the same. If you lose on a gamble, take your loss on a chin like a fucking adult and move on. You cannot be gambling and expect people to feel sorry for you when you lose. Just like you can't go to the casino and play cards and expect that, right? But what I like with what we're doing here is we're not gambling. We're just building a narrative and a movement and a base around something we believe in, and we're trying to build it up. And there's people holding, there's people who truly believe in this, people that have DCA'd, right? And I don't take that lightly. That's their money. That's something that they've put into this. Um, I believe that we can do this for real. I think the people deserve a fair chance. And with JFK, you actually get a fair chance. I cannot control when people buy and sell, nor do I want to, because that's what makes it organic, right? But I can tell you that the more that we continue to push this narrative onto people, the better off we're going to be in the long run. and the more success we'll see over time. So um, I'll I'll break this up real quick because we had a request. What's up, Parody?
So that you aren't the only one speaking. What you're saying is so true and on point, and it's so nice to hear real words in this place. You said that Bitlord was freaking out and crying. He put his glasses on, but that's Bitlord. That's been his stick the entire crypto thing, right? He's super over dramatic. He wants people to join his side and get on his side. But you're so true. You're not going to find an influencer that buys something after you buy it. He's shilling or she's shilling that coin that they bought or were given even a whole allotment, and they're not like they don't even dump anymore. They know the game, so they'll dump like let's use XRP as an example. They'll have 100 XRP of something. And as it goes up, they'll sell one XRP. As it goes up more, they'll sell one XRP. They'll sell one XRP. They'll sell one. And it looks like they're not even selling because they're making such small profits in actuality, but everybody else is losing. So you're putting in two XRP, they're taking one. And that's the game of crypto. And I'm so bullish on you because of how you're saying this and what you're saying. So I just wanted to come up and say kudos to you to what you're doing. I've never really wanted to get into anything Solana because of the influencers that I've heard, but I do now from just hearing you and seeing what you're doing. So keep up the good work and thank you for what you're doing. This is amazing to actually hear something real.
Yeah, yeah. No, dude, I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, I mean, that's the truth. It's gotten more sophisticated, right? And there's bots now, and there's ways for them to do it, and there's ways for them to do it fairly respectable. And I don't have a problem with that. I understand paying for marketing. I actually see no issue with paying for marketing. I think, as a business perspective, most businesses have to pay for marketing. I just come from a space where we didn't have very many options of that. I worked in the hemp space and the vape space, and we just couldn't really market. We actually had to just do everything organic through socials and phone calls and networking events and stuff like that. And so I see both sides of it. When I got into this, I thought originally I was like, why aren't they using, this back when Twitter in the last bowl, I'm like, why aren't they using Twitter ads? And then I realized the ads were scams too. So I was like, son of a bitch, it's all a fugazi. But you nailed it right on the head. I mean, they do it in a way where you don't even realize they're doing it. Hell, I've even learned how to make money off these rug pull coins. But the problem is, as soon as you think you learned, they change the pattern. They're smart. Very sophisticated. But people do make money on the scam, like true scam projects that start with the only intention of rugging it within, X amount of time, whatever that time frame is for them on that play. But it does take a group of people. It can't be done alone. Very seldom would I assume anyone can do that by themselves fully. There's got to be a group, right? And that's where that cabal word kind of comes in. And then, I didn't say cabal on the thing because I wanted to lump it into crypto elite because the cabals still answer to someone else. And that is the crypto elite. Those are the people pulling all the strings. We saw it when the meme coin cycle got really hard. Like Ben.eth, for example, he was a face. He was a plant, if you will. He was there to be the drama, to be the hype and the excitement, right? But behind that was people with money who were pulling those strings to make his hype and his marketing work. And so, I could go on and on with a list of names that do that stuff. And, to be completely frank with you, I've gotten pretty close to like finding out exactly who those people are because when you're making a lot of noise, they're like, oh, this guy's making a lot of noise, not getting the attention he wants. Maybe he wants to play dirty with us, right? Um, but they do it and it exists and it'll never stop, even if it's illegal. And then here's the other thing. It's like you can't in one sentence say this is decentralized and it's supposed to be, free to use and free to consume, but then on the same leg say I need regulation. you can't have it both ways. Either you want decentralization or you want centralization, because regulation brings centralization. And if we have regulation and centralization, it's a slippery slope, right? Should there be some regulatory body around maybe the coins themselves being able to be clarified so that banks want to use them and stores want to accept them? Yeah, that'd be a happy medium. I almost would take that depending on how it was written, but knowing how politicians work, it's never going to be written properly. I'm really hopeful that Trump does something wild here with the crypto space and makes it just free. And maybe, maybe he launched these to prove the point of look what happens when it's free. A little too crazy, guys, or maybe it is crazy, but it's fun and no one got hurt, right? So I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I do know that we were way ahead of our time on this. And there are some great people that are much better investigators than I. Um, I can almost see it based on social patterns, but like the blockchain stuff and some of that, like I can go through it, but I don't have the patience. It's just not kind of my game. But if I'm mad enough, I will. You know what I mean? Like if I feel like someone's really getting to us, but for the most part, man, that's why I joined up with this master group, guys. You see the gold check here. I don't have a gold check for Brady. I could get one. I've thought about it, and it may happen later. JFK will stay a master, even if I get my own, because JFK is master. What master is they're a blockchain investigator. They investigate and they call out scams, and they call it out with data. And what I really like about that is that data, not only is it true data, but it's quick. And there's a group of like 12 of them that got together and started this business. And then they came up with this idea where if they approve you, you can become part of the master team. And if you're part of the master team as a project, then you have passed their check. So JFK passed their rug check, which was obviously what I expected, but really cool to see, right? Like it's a great feeling to get that. FRN passed the rug check. And FRN's the one who turned me on to those guys. Which, by the way, Kenny on FRN, he's busy right now. He's been running spaces. He can't come up today, but I want to say like we owe him a lot, guys. He has done a lot for us behind the scenes to help push me and to help like guide me into this more serious direction of being taken serious, right? And one of those things was introducing us to Master. But with Master and being certified through them, we actually have rug insurance on JFK. And I haven't really started pushing that concept. They call it crypto insurance, but it's basically if JFK rugs, if I rugged JFK, they would pay you guys out. I don't know exactly how that works to the T, but they actually insure it and they will pay you guys out on being rugged. And that's how much they're backing us and what we do. Obviously I'm fully doxxed already, but they went through me with a fine tooth comb and they're like, man, you're like way out there, bro. Like you're hella doxxed. Like I am. Um, but I think that's important, right? So, just so you guys know, like that might not be like to me, I don't want to use that as a main selling point, but it is an added value aspect to our token. And I think it's a new thing you're going to see start becoming more prevalent. And I also look forward to that because it gives me opportunities of places I might be able to park my money a little bit, my soul, right? And then actually like, hope to see some gains in the future and be part of something like what we believe in. So they aligned with us really well. What's up, Tex?
Hey, Brady, good to hear from you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your Sunday to host this space. Thanks for all the other people in the attendance for this. I just wanted to reach out. I think this is the first one since you've had for a while, and I wanted to make sure that I extended my thanks and appreciation to you and the JFK coin for helping me out based on what happened with me and getting my wallet drained when I had 1% of your supply. It sucked. It really hurts now, but I wanted to make sure I extended my thanks and appreciation to you for helping me out as best you could with what you could. I'm not going to go into any of the details, but I just wanted to make sure I shout it out to you and say thank you again.
Dude, I appreciate that. And you didn't have to make that public. I said we can keep that between you and I. But for those one,
Well, I'm still, you didn't have to do that. No, no, not too many other devs would do that. Especially after I had 4% of Blink drained from me too. Blinch drained from me at the same time. So yeah, it was a really shitty day back in December when that hit me. And I was like, fuck this, man. I was like, I'm so sick of crypto. And about a week later, Brady came knocking on my door and said, "Man, I want to try to help you out for what you've done for the community in the past and what we went through with meta grinders and all that bullshit and such like that, and everything you've done to support me and the communities that I'm involved in." And I just want to make sure that other people understand that you're dealing with a dev that actually cares, which is a freaking rarity. So, you're in a good spot. If you're in JFK, I don't own a whole heck of a lot, but what I own, I'm going to hold. I'm not selling jack, and I don't anticipate anybody else that's here with you today is going to do either that. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother, and I will support you.
hey man, I pay attention out here and I watch all you guys and you know, I've been drained of not my whole wallet luckily, but I've been drained of my top NFTs and that was a horrible experience and the timing couldn't have been worse. And that's how I got drained. I was in emotionally distraught space and going to going to Twitter to kind of like feel better, right? I guess, and interact with all you guys. And this back in the NFT days when they were heavy still. And I went to go claim something for a project I was in, and it was a fake account. And I lost that project and a couple of my other top NFTs. And I was just, I lost it, dude. So I know how you felt. And, I don't want anyone to, I don't want anyone to feel like that, man. And I'm glad I was able to help you where I could. And sorry I couldn't help more, but uh, yeah, you didn't have to tell anybody that, man. I literally like appreciate you doing that, but yeah, it just is what it is, and I'll move on from it. But thank you, TA. And dude, you've been here for a long time, and I've always appreciated your support. You're active and you're fun, and you keep things going. There's a lot of people in here that do the same. Happy Mama is a huge supporter. You got BCR in here. We got, I mean, honestly, everyone in here, Meme Master, Silent Dave, Venture, shit, who else has been here forever? That's people that like have been here forever. I've known Silent Dave since I launched Psychonauts back in, I guess, 22. So yeah, it's cool to see you guys here, and the support is appreciated and not expected. So when you guys show up every day like that for me, least I can do is try to do my best to help put you in a better situation where I can. So, uh, guys, at the end of the day, like I said, like money comes and goes. If we build this project right, we build it with the right people, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do. Like these tokens are just tools, right? Yeah, they have a value of soul to them, and soul has a value of dollar to it. So it's a couple degrees separated from real money, but that's what makes it that's what makes us be able to do what we do here, right? Like that's kind of what separates us from the normal rules. But I really enjoy the fact that, in my mind, we're creating value out of nothing, and we're doing it in a way where it's simply because more and more people believe in what we do. So the more we tell people about it, and the more that we, share our experiences here that are real, that's what separates us from like the next hype coin. That's what separates us from, this guy or that guy, and what happens next with those tokens. They'll come and go. Trust me, I FOMO all the time, but I don't buy as much as I cannot buy, right? I try not to buy. And I try to ignore the noise. And sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. But I've made it a habit to practice what I preach the best I can. Um, it's really hard, right? So, having all you guys around me and then us supporting this mindset together has helped me a lot too. And you guys have given me, you know, a purpose of creating the vision of the world I want to see, I guess, is the best way to explain it. And I don't know how else I can explain it without going into no territory, but let's just say this. In the future, hypothetically, I think we're all a meme, and I think we're all our own bank. And I think those are really powerful things that'll happen. And that's where we're headed. And Trump's proven it right now, right? Uh, his net worth is more than it ever was based off of a token he launched not even 2 days ago, or maybe 2 days ago. Wild times we live in. If you tell people that back in the 50s, they'd laugh their ass off at you, dude. You know what I mean? Hell, in the 90s, they'd be like, you're crazy, you're shit, man. Think that's going to work? Well, here we are, right? And a lot of things had to fall into place for this to all happen, and including Ross. And we got FRN up here. What's up, dude? Kenny, how are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Just got back from a walk out in the cold, so I couldn't have my hands out to touch the screen or anything. It's freezing and snowy here. But I wanted to just pop in. I didn't hear if you mentioned I had it muted for a minute in there, but did you see the whole clip of Trump reaffirming today that he is going to release the JFK files and the MLK files and the Bobby Kennedy files?
No, dude, really?
Bro, I'll pin it up. I'll pin it up just a sec.
Please
Or,
do.
well, let's see. Yeah, we got and Alex Jones did a little clip on it. I'm not sure there isn't like an official one from Trump or anything, but it's footage from the talk he's given today. And yeah, shout out to Extraterrestrial for finding it and drop or DeFi Dog, one of them. They're both dropping links in the JFK room left and right while we're in here. So, but yeah, he just reconfirmed that promise today.
Dude,
And
I'm
after the
pumped.
bullishness too, dude, like that's pretty cool too. That isn't even what was causing the pump earlier.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't know, and I'll be on it. I'm a bad multitasker. For those of you who don't know, I have trouble even just reading your guys' messages on here, but I'll try to do better. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome, dude. I had no idea. So let me pull that up. I'll read it to you guys real quick, at least the short and skinny of it. Let's see what's good here. Did he say it in a video?
Yeah, there's a rally going on somewhere. I've seen pictures of it coming out from a bunch of folks over the course of the last hour or two. And then Alex Jones, yeah, put up this clip of him actually saying it. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
Pretty cool.
huge. That's huge, man. You know, I believed it would happen. Um, but for those of you who are newer here, just know that like this project didn't start at all about the files being released. It started about the accomplishments he made and the sacrifice that he made for the people. And that ultimate sacrifice, unfortunately, was his life. And it was definitely too early. And he had a lot of great things left to accomplish. And I believe full-heartedly that Trump and a lot of these other people involved are here to finish what he originally started and then some, because times have changed and things are different now. But I think that his goal was to raise awareness, which he did on secret societies. He raised awareness on APAC, which clearly became a massive problem for us and could potentially get you throttled to hell on here even. But you know, a lot of people don't understand just how much, and I didn't even understand as much as I do now after launching the token, but he believed not just in like the citizens of the United States. When he spoke, he made a point to say globally around the world. He wanted to help save and change the world. And he already knew, due to his family, I assume, and due to being in politics and prior to that, I think, and being in Hollywood, right? Like it all kind of connects really easily, but he did it because he believed that was wrong and he morally couldn't participate. So he did what most wouldn't, but some of us would. I like to believe I would, but he stood up and he told the truth. He spoke his truth, right? That's why you always hear me say, speak your truth. You don't ever know who's listening, and it might change the course of history. It might change somebody's life, you know? And so he spoke his truth and he took the ultimate sacrifice for it. But that man has some of the best speeches you'll ever hear in your life, and they'll resonate to you today, which is really crazy because it was a long time ago. But it just goes to show how long it took to help stop this control mechanism that has existed, I mean, really since the beginning of time, right? And that's kind of the whole thing. Like, you know, I won't go totally biblical on you. I'm definitely a man of God, Christ. But I can tell you this, like Jesus, when he, you know, when he was in the, I might use the wrong verbiage here, but he was in like the common area, and he said, if you use their coins, you have to pay their taxes, right? And if you don't, you shouldn't have to. It shouldn't matter. And it's said differently, but that's the message. FRN, please feel free if you have a little more insight on that.
Yeah, no, it's such a great quote, and people here, you'll recognize it, folks, right? The main line is "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's," right? That's the line, which is a little too easy to misinterpret if you don't read around it too, because he basically asks them whose face is on this, showing them the coin, and they say, "Well, it's Caesar's." He says, "Well, then give Caesar what's his, and render unto God that which is God's," and it makes very clear in multiple places in the Old and New Testament that that which is God is all of creation. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the only time in the New Testament that Jesus does anything that could be categorized as remotely violent or aggressive is when he flips the tables of the money changers in the temple. So yeah, just wanted to jump in there with that.
And that's kind of what resonates with me with crypto so much. It's like, hold on, so we can just use any coin we want. And if we all decide together that that coin is what we want to use for whatever reason, maybe they all have different purposes, right? Which we're seeing they're trying to do. But that's what we're doing. We're breaking free of this system by not using it. And the only way you're using it is when you tie it back to the dollar, right? And the dollar is so prevalent because the reality is the world runs on the dollar, right? We're the world reserve currency for a reason. And everybody, you know, it's changing more and more, which is why I think we're seeing this exposed more and more. But like other countries are trying to break away from our dollar and trade in other currencies or BRICS, for example, right? They're trying to use gold and precious metals as well as some different crypto mechanisms to do that. So, you know, like I'm bullish on XRP as an investor. I am not bullish on XRP as a company. Um, and I can't stress that enough because Ripple has done what any great businessman would do or woman, and they have gone and signed agreements a very long time ago at this point um, with 130 something countries. So with an agreement, for those of you who don't sign many agreements, and to me, that's a big part of what my life has been in the past is signing agreements, right? When you sign these agreements, you sign an NDA. When you sign an NDA with a country, I imagine they're a lot more complicated and a little more scary to sign. So they're not going to tell us shit, and they can't. And that's okay. But we have an agreement with Ripple and the government that has existed for a while. So there's an NDA. So I find it oxymoronic that the SEC is in a lawsuit with them, but I think it's just part of a charade. I think it exists simply because it helps them pick and choose when this goes live. And from Ripple's point of view, if they want this to work, it has to work with them because of the almighty USD. So it all revolves around something super simple, but the lawsuit's a charade, in my opinion, and no one could ever convince me otherwise. And that's why I think we're seeing this go down the way it is. I don't have all my money for investments tied in XRP. I actually believe XLM might be the answer, and I think that's why he broke off and started it. But well, time will tell, right? I'm also seeing that Trump's bullish on Solana. He's trying to prove some kind of point. I'm not sure what exactly it is on that, but I think he chose. It's weird because he's got his freedom dex or whatever it is on ETH, I believe, but ETHgate's real. So ETH was started. You used to be able to post about it. They would delete it. ETHgate started with Vitalik working with our Congress, and they're all and the ones that he worked with were inside trading on this. They got in early. And so that'll all come out over time, right? Like all these truth bombs are going to come out. And I think that's why, you know, potentially it took a little longer to kick off this time around. Go ahead, FRN.
Oh, I was just gonna say on the ETH side and the questionable stuff there over the last year, diving into all the Ross story and everything around it. One of the things that I learned is, there was a thing called the Baltimore Special Task Force that was put together in response to Mt. Gox, actually. And they stole a whole bunch of money from a whole bunch of people. Agents went to prison and stuff. And then the same task force with slightly different humans is what actually went after the Silk Road. And that Baltimore Special Task Force actually is directly linked to the largest Ethereum whale from the original pre-sale of Ethereum, as well as many other big things like that. There's a couple accounts like Boring Sleuth that have been going down the rabbit hole on this stuff for a long time and showing from wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet, like showing the chains of custody and everything, and how this money that was literally stolen from Ross and the users of the Silk Road became the largest whale on Ethereum.
That's interesting. And nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, it's a who you know game, and it's some of it might be illegal and some of it might just be immoral, right? And time will tell on which is which there, but you know, just because it's not illegal doesn't make it right, and actually the irony to that is a lot of times some things that are illegal are morally right, and then some things that are legal are immorally wrong to the nth degree. And so we have a very backwards system here, and it confuses people, and it also messes with your consciousness on what's right and wrong. And so it becomes easier and easier to do immoral things based on the legality behind it, right? Like there's always a loophole for everything. You can use loopholes for good, or you can use them for bad. Most people tend to use them for bad. I've fortunately been in situations to use them for good, especially in the hemp space, dealing with cannabinoids and things like that. When like Delta 8 kicked off, or the flower and stuff like that, like there was a lot of things we had to dance around. And it was funny because before the actual hemp bill was passed, we were under a pilot program, which was about a paragraph. So, any of you in here, if you can trade crypto, you can read and comprehend a paragraph and start to pick a lot of holes in it, right? So there was a lot of people scared of a paragraph, and I was like, well, this is awesome. It's so fucking vague. Pretty much do whatever we want, right? And so when I even started, they thought they could only source from Europe, and then it went through this whole deal, and the conclusion me and my wife actually came to was hemp's never been illegal, and because it's all one plant, the scheduling of cannabis itself is illegal, and it's actually like technically illegal for them to do that because you know it's a plant, and we have endocannabinoid receptors in our body, and I go on and on. But we feed off our endocannabinoid receptors in our body because we create natural cannabinoids. And because we create natural cannabinoids, it actually is a protected layer in multiple spots of our body, including our brain and our entire immune system and the functionality of how our homeostasis works. So it's really interesting to see that they wanted that illegal. I don't think it had anything to do with any of the reasons that that Nixon was involved with. I think it was simply put, they realized that it freed the mind, and because it freed the mind, it had to go. They found an easy scapegoat at the time, being in the times it was in. Um, Absolutely immoral, right? Completely unjust. Um, but nonetheless, reefer madness exists, and we'll never be able to unsee that shit. And they got people to believe that. So propaganda machine worked really well for that. And ironically, Trump has said the rumors are that day one, he's also going to legalize federally cannabis, which means it is all one plant and the farmers can prosper because there's so much money to make off hemp and cannabis and all that. You know, a lot of people don't understand that it cleans the soil. It gets rid of all the contaminants from all the fucking GMOs and the pesticides we spray on there. Takes a few cycles, um, but it will get rid of it and it'll clean it all up. It takes away radiation. They could grow hemp in Chernobyl, and I don't know how long it would take, but they could get rid of the radiation in the soil there over time, and it would also flourish the air around it and clean that as well. You would just want to dispose of that properly. So yeah, I go on and on about this stuff too. I love it. What's up, Parody?
I'm so bullish on you. That last thing that you just said made me extra bullish. I am definitely a cannabis enthusiast, not just to get high, but the effects that it can have on your body and help with everything that you've just been saying. I don't want to leave this space, but I have prior engagement that I was told that I would go and play a song for them. Before I go, I write crypto parody songs. Would you like to hear the one that everyone is liking? And just before I go,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I have been in crypto for a while. I wrote this song in 2021, and I now have quite the following of people that love it. And I just want everyone in crypto to hear it because it fits so well with every crypto. It doesn't matter if it's Tron or XRP or Solana or anything. This fits just super well. So I'm going to try to add a Solana verse in the top. And then here we go. I made it on ETH, but this is a Solana version. I met a girl on pump.fun, shilling memes, I had to get me some. I fell for a PFP, and now I'm printing on JFK. Is it a trap? Is she trying to deceive? She turned my heart into an NFT. When she said she was decentralized, well then I knew that it was one big lie. She fucking rubbed me. She fucking rubbed me. I tried to talk, now my voice sounds like it's in the blockchain. Fucking rugging again. She was rare and I had to call it. Now I'm trapped in her hot wallet. She's calm and infinitely cool. Used me to exit her liquidity pool. She fucking rugged me. She fucking rugged me. I tried to talk, now my voice sounds like it's in the blockchain. Fucking rugging again. That's my story, as you see. Please be careful when you use Web3. Be secure and protect your seeds. Don't be a crypto fool like me. She fucking rugged me.
That was dope, dude. That was really good. Thank you for that.
I'm glad you liked it. That's what I do. My name, Parody. I write crypto parody songs. I also write other parody songs, but I jump around from space to space, basically busking. I get tips. I use those tips to buy back into the community that I play for. So I'm definitely going to be looking more into this. I want to thank Happy Mama, Happy Mama Fitness Mama for getting me on to you. She posted something in a group chat today, and I definitely wanted to come see what you were about. I also wanted to say bonjour to Silent Dave Je suis un Canadien, j'habite à Canada. So I know he speaks some French as well, so I wanted to shout that out as well. But thank you for having me up here. Thank you for what you're doing for the communities, and I'm definitely going to be back.
Dude, I appreciate you coming in. It was a pleasure meeting you. It's always nice to have new people around. Feel free to come by anytime. I am going to make a habit about scheduling spaces because I know that's been a complaint. And I'm also going to make a habit about running more consistent spaces. I enjoy them and it is a nice way to meet new people. So appreciate you coming in, man.
Definitely. See you guys.
Later, bro. So yeah, I did not realize that Trump has just done this, and that's absolutely massive. So if you guys haven't yet, please go raid the space or the post up top with Alex Jones, and he's always putting out the JFK data. I also follow a few JFK accounts. I'll try to pull them together for you guys, share them in the chat, maybe even just make a post about all the accounts to follow on JFK. They're dropping tons of knowledge. I learn a lot from them, and that's all they talk about. So it's kind of cool to see that there's so much excitement around the JFK files being released because personally, I believe that when the truth comes out about JFK, that is when all the boomers will wake up and realize how absolutely untrustworthy the government has been and how much corruption goes on between these different organizations that we have in our government and the unchecked balances that exist within it. I also believe that if what I am understanding is true, and I'll just call it allegedly at the time, but allegedly, even from Roger Stone's mouth the other day in the space I was in, which was very surprising for me to hear, but apparently he has a whole book on it. He mentioned very clearly that allegedly LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, who was the vice president at the time, actually is the one who helped make the assassination possible. And it was so that he could become president of the United States of America. So there were a lot of reasons why they wanted him gone. But that was the selling his soul to the devil. Um, whether he had already done it multiple times prior, I don't know. But that was the moment where that's what cinched the final, the final piece for them to be able to pull that off. And because of that, uh, he's gone, right? And he was taken early from us and he wasn't able to finish what he started. So when people understand that there was a coup against our own president from a vice president of the United States, allegedly, that is going to be something that is extremely hard to swallow for anybody who is not paying attention and doesn't understand how corrupt our government is and has been. And that's going to be the changing force and why the acceptance of Trump and what he's actually trying to do is going to be such a big deal, right? And so to me, it really puts the final pieces of the puzzle together. And I cannot stress this enough. Like, I did not start this for the JFK file release. In my wildest dreams would they actually finally do it. But I will say it is awesome to see this finally coming to a heed. I do have him tattooed on my chest with a joint in his mouth. There's a picture of him at the White House with a joint in his mouth that I chose to use, and I've got pot plants around it. And it just really resonates with me because I spent 8 years in the hemp space and I started using cannabis when I was 18 or yeah, about 18 and a half. And I didn't stop day one, but it wasn't because it was getting me high. It was because it got rid of my vertigo and some other issues that I had with anxiety and things like that. It really had helped me through a tough time. And I didn't realize how much until years later. And then started putting the pieces together and didn't even understand that I had had the trauma that I had. So to me, cannabis is just a huge deal. Now it helps me with like my arthritis and things like that from, extreme weightlifting and wrestling my whole life. So all this stuff kind of goes together, all this conspiracy stuff and whatnot. It all kind of, you know, brings it all together. I found out about, what we used to call the Illuminati back when I was, I guess, like 21 years old, and that's when I started digging down the rabbit hole and realized how fucked up everything was. And then it made sense why I didn't fit in, and why, it never added up to me why we did the things we do, and live the lives we live the way we do. But it's all because it's done by design, and that's the way they want us. So, yeah, it's big stuff, guys. And that's going to create a massive virality for JFK, obviously. And that's why my goal is to get the market cap up by bringing in holders, not just by driving the market cap up by, by running these bullshit, by, oh, nice, good job, baby, by running, all these, like, you know boosts, and, different things. Like, I played with them all, and to be honest, it's all for naught, because they leave as quick as they come, and all it does is leave all of us empty handed, and drives the market cap down inevitably, unless you continue to do it. And God knows I don't have the money for that. And yeah, I don't expect the community to continue just dishing out money to hopefully win. So if we do this the way we're doing it, and we keep driving forward, that's how we can win successfully and actually make this a real thing. And that's why people diamond hand this. It's because they're here because they want to be. They're not here just to make a quick buck. Um, sure, the dream is $1 billion market cap, and are there rewards to that for everybody? Absolutely. Because, but hard work pays off, and you deserve it. And I think that my biggest dream is to have, in a perfect world, have something that I created be something that you can just not even affect the chart, and, potentially live your life without any strings attached, and no puppet master, and be free from everything. And that's why I want this. I want that for all of us, right? Like, I'm not pulling now, and I would never pull in an unhealthy way, but at some point, like, I want this to be so high where I can be like, hey, to my wife, Danielle's her name. I'd be like, hey, Danielle, like, that JFK coin that drives you nuts sometimes, and then you love it, but you hate it, you can actually enjoy the fruits of the labor that I put in here, and we don't have to work anymore, right? So that's my goal. It's not just, it's not a selfish goal either. It's okay to want to be free. You know what I mean? It's okay to want to reap your rewards of your hard work. But it's a goal that I want to share with all of you and everyone who comes into this. And, in my mind, anyone who comes into this, hopefully under, $30 million market cap, can reap that reward, because we get so high, it actually gives us the opportunity to win together. But if the money's all that's driving us, we're going to lose that battle every time. We've got a new guest up here, and I haven't been able to talk to you in a long time, brother, man. But this dude was with me through some long spaces runs, 40 hours plus a week, and homie showed up quite a bit. Bagel, dude, Bagoon, is your new name on here, but I see Bagel in your profile, at your banner. So, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's up? What's up? I'm doing good, man. I seen the space going. Figured I'd come say what's good, see what's up. Check out what you got going on. It's been a while since we actually talked.
It's been a hot minute. You missed my short cannabis spiel that I don't dish out very often anymore. It's funny that you came in here.
My ears perked up and it's melting in the air.
I believe that. It was like the bat signal. Nah, man, doing good,
Yeah.
dude. Doing good. How's life? How's it treating you, man? I see you're helping with a bunch of projects out there. That's awesome. Glad to see you pushing and doing your thing, dude.
Yeah, it's going good. Hopefully starting a job within the next week and a half at the Dollar General right down the road. They need a manager, so easy.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. The Dollar General by me is always hop. I got one on each side of me within about 3 miles, and I hit them up often.
I've got 4.
Oh shit. You're are
I
you,
could just run up hours between 4 stores.
oh dude, all day, man, all day. They're definitely
It's
busy.
easy money.
Hell yeah,
I got
man.
4 within 2 miles. I could literally just walk.
Dude, no, that's awesome, man. Good to hear it. That's moving forward, bro. Always take positive directions forward. That's what life's all about, man.
Exactly. Hold what you got and find a job.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sell that crypto, baby. Don't let it go now.
Exactly. No paper hand.
No paper hands. That's right. Oh man, it's good to have you up here. Guys, I I think at the end of the day, like we're in this awesome spot. We see what max push can do for us. Um, I do not expect anybody to keep up with me when I do that. I am aware that it is absolutely fucking crazy. Um, but when I get in a rhythm and I start pushing, all you guys know it's fucking go time. And until I see what I want to see out of the results, I'm going to continue to push that hard. Um, can it be done on a consistent basis over months on end? I don't think so. I really don't. And that's where I rely on the community to help pick up my slack a little bit on times because I do have a life just like all of you. And unfortunately, this isn't my full time gig, although I wish it was. In a dream world, this is what I would do for a living. Absolutely. But ironically, by that time, I believe that it'll have enough legs where I won't have to do as much pushing and you won't need me nearly as much. And hopefully this project relies less and less on me as a person and more on JFK as a symbol and what it does out here in the space. So I'm bullish on everybody. I hope all of you guys get to retire your bloodlines this cycle. I've been through this shit before. I've been a holder of some coins since 13. Um, it is wild, right, to hold that long, but it is rewarding. I can promise you that. I've always, I've always been up if I've held, unless it's a shit coin. And in that case, I shouldn't have probably bought it anyway, and I should have exited quicker if I was going to gamble or try to make quick gains, right? I'm decent at that, but my moral compass doesn't like it that much because I feel like I'm still taking advantage of people, even though I know everybody's gambling. And that's probably why you won't see me at the casino gambling, although I do like playing Hold'em. But that's a little different. But like, I like the tournaments better because when I go to the Hold'em table and I play, um, people don't like me very much when I leave because I don't give two fucks about the feelings. And I always walk in late when there's high chip holders that are bored. And I just kind of take a little bit and then I bounce. But they're like, "You're not going to let me win that money back, bro?" I'm like, "Nah, man, it's late. It's bedtime. See the wife's over there. I got to go. Like, I got to go." So
It's just like, I'm sorry, I'm not an addict like you. I'm leaving with my profits.
leaving with the profits, baby. Exactly. Like when I play Hold'em, I look at it like I'm playing a sport. When I go play roulette, I know I'm just leaving it up to fucking fate. So there's two very different situations there, but it's if there's one thing you guys can take from today and just really understand is I am like so proud to be a part of this with all of you, and I really think that this has been the most humbling experience of my life, um, running this JFK project. And I will not lie to you. There's been times where I'm like, it would be so much easier to stop. It looks like everybody stopped anyway. But I thought to myself, what if I just didn't stop? What will happen? Like the odds are in my favor if I don't quit, right? And you guys held, which made me want to keep going. So thank you. Um, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I really believe we're doing something cool here. and it's just really rare, it's so rare that, like I said before, Grok doesn't even know how to fully quantify it. But we're definitely in the 2% left of tokens, for sure, after 8 months. There's only 2% of tokens like us that survive out of all the tokens that are launched every day. So you should be proud of yourselves. Like, you guys did this with me. This was us. I don't want all the credit. I don't want that. I really want you guys to understand, like, without you guys, I could have never done this. And that's it. It ends there. It takes a team. And I always said that it's going to take an army to accomplish our goals, because we're onboarding normal people and they don't have, whale money, right? And so I also understand that what you put in here means something to you. It might not when you put it into other shit, but sure as fuck when you put it here, just know that I respect and appreciate that you put that Solana that you had to earn some way or another. And I know most of you have jobs. I know some of you don't, right? And I know that that means something. So if you felt like you wanted to be part of this and you believed in this, thank you. Because the whole community should be thanking each other. This is a group effort. This is like it's like a football team or something. You know what I mean? Like, I might be the quarterback, or I might be the coach, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, coach is only as good as his players. Quarterback's only as good as his line. Like, this is a big deal. And, everyone is welcome to step up and do as much as they want here. Do not think that you're stepping on my toes, because this is our project. If you have things that you want to do or connections you want to make and you want to do these things, you don't need a title. Don't put me on a title either. Like, this is us. So together, we can truly accomplish anything, because the power of the people is always going to be more powerful than the cabals. But the problem is they do everything they can to turn us against each other. They keep coming out with shiny new objects to make people distracted, and that's how they get us. So this is my home base. This is where, we should be discussing these things. If you see a coin and you're like, oh man, I really think I want to get in on this, share the fucking group. Ask honest opinions. I ask everyone to be respectful about it, right? Like, let's talk about it. Let's dissect the motherfucker. If it makes sense, maybe we all want to get in on it. You know what I mean? If it doesn't, and you still get in, that's you. You do what you want. No one's gonna shame you for it. I don't give a fuck. Chill it till you can't breathe no more. You know what I mean? But just know, like, I don't expect you to only be in JFK. I don't expect you to only support this project. I like that we are bringing other communities together to accomplish a common goal. And I like that we're bringing other communities up, and that other communities are trying to help us come up. That's how you win. And that's how you do things right. So, collaboration, like in the NFT space, was kind of like, I don't know.
Iffy at best.
Yeah, iffy. And it was kind of like, I don't know the best word, like flamboyant, I guess is the best way to say it. It just was weird,
Did you say
man.
flamboyant?
Yeah. It was just fucking weird, dude. And it just felt funny,
You're fucking gay for collaborating.
Well, it just was done in a really, like, childish way. And
It really was,
I
though.
can't get around that. Like, let's run business. Like, we're gonna.
How much money you will give me for coming up to your space?
Yes, exactly. Like, the way I look at it is like, JFK has graduated from being a shitcoin, okay? Because you're a shitcoin till you're not. Now that we're a meme coin, and we really are a politify and a conspirify, we're a mix of both, which is super cool, right? I that dawned on me the other day when I was talking
All
to
these
FRM.
different pies.
Yeah, dude, all these fives, I don't know, but hey, they're categories on the Dexus, so I'll take as many categories as they'll throw at us, right? But we can start doing things that I used to think wasn't possible. And luckily for all of us, and I'm sure there's plenty of you out there just have tons of ideas too, but like my wife is a really savvy marketing person, very, very in tune with all of that. And she's helping me come up with some unique ideas to take this to the next level because crypto is becoming more mainstream. And I have a lot of real life connections that I've never really been able to discuss this with. Mine is like, hey, I have this coin. And they're like, oh, I don't know what that fucking means, right? But now we're at a point where I can go to them and actually say, hey, look, here's the data. This is the analytics. I have data now. I have actual like things that
It's an
speak.
investment.
Yeah, like I don't want them to invest in us. I'm more thinking like y'all can go partner with random coins that launch tomorrow and hope for the best. I'm gonna go partner with like Coca-Cola and Monster and shit like that. Those are the connections I have. Now, I'm not telling you that's who I'm partnering with, and I'm not like, so don't like take this as holy shit, he's gonna go. No, like slow down, but just understand I live in that world in my real world. Like that's the people I talk to, and those are the friends I have. And so that's kind of where I'm looking in that direction. Maybe it starts a little smaller, but it grows to that. Or maybe we get a lucky layup with a homie and they're like, oh, I see the value because I saw Trump launch this coin. And right, like Trump doing that changes a lot for validity, right? And so that shows people like, hey, no, look, Trump just made billions of dollars in his net worth, just like a stock. He doesn't have the realized yet, but he does have a value. And that value is something that needs to be discussed with big businesses. So I'm hoping, over the course of 3 to 6 months, because we're talking about big business, um, I can start making some of these connections actually happen and we can start growing into something more than what most people see in the traditional space. And I'm not saying we're going to put our logo on a Coke can. I'm just saying, like, there's things that we can do together with these people that will raise eyebrows and get people interested in what we're doing, that have more funds, that would be more like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like, I know that until we hit $1 million market cap, I can't even bring in people I know in the crypto space. Like, maybe they put like $50 or $100 in, but like they've got like 10K to drop tomorrow. But if we aren't at 1 million, they're not interested. And it doesn't matter who's friends with who on that. Right. So like I have goals. And I'll just list them out for you real quick because I think it's important for everyone to understand. Like the goals are simple. We need to onboard. The more people we have, the higher the market cap goes. It's just part of it. The more people that are holding and the more people that are attending these spaces and the more people that are showing up on these posts, the higher the market cap's going to go. I can tell you based on our current stats that at 330 holders, we can legitimately sit between a 150 to a $200,000 market cap. We can create real volume. And so what does that look like? That means we're going to see a retention rate. So we need to consider that. We're going to lose 10% or maybe even 30% of all new onboarded holders within the first 2 days. So that means we need to consider what that looks like from an onboarding standpoint. And I'm actually going to go so far as to make an entire sheet on this. And I'm willing to share this with all of you and put all your great minds that are probably better at sheets than I am to look at this and start seeing the big picture here, and that our strategy can be real and attainable and we can accomplish something great with purpose. Because I know that I've I'm so used to just being the owner of stuff that I just do things because I see things, I understand it, and then I assume everybody else is looking at it the same way. And I now have come to the epiphany that they are not. And that is not anybody's fault but my own. So consider that like a very enlightening moment for me. And so because of that, I realized that putting things down on paper and showing you and actually explaining it and having you guys talk to me back is how we can really start to do some cool shit. And so that's another goal I have this week. I plan to have that started this week and something to show you guys. And I want you to hold me accountable because that's what you should be doing. As someone who's telling you I want to do these things, I'm going to do them. So hold me accountable, right? We've got the NFT projects. I'm going to strategize that a little more on how we get more people on board it. I'm going to tell you right now, unless it like takes off, we will not ever sell all those NFTs because I'm going to burn them. We will not have a 7, 7, 7, 8 collection probably likely by the end of next week because I don't want to share with people that come in super late. Um, they can buy them off the floor. You guys can sell them to them. And I think that is very advantageous for you guys to have the ability to monetize your squares outside of just JFK, if you so choose to. And maybe not many people do, and they become more something people want. And as the market cap goes up, it might become something that more and more people want. But they're not buying them based on rarity. They're not buying them based on traits. They're buying them because it's a tool and they want to use the tool. And the only way to use the tool is to have that NFT. So things are going to change. We're at a point where I feel like if we do these things, we can go so much higher, so much quicker. And the irony is, if he releases the files on day one, that is on Monday. So I need to be prepared for what do we do next? Because that hype does die down. And so these are the things I'm going to do that allows us to prosper long term, to keep holders here, right? And so that is the other part of it. So I'm thinking ahead here. I did not expect the files to be dropped day one, but that would be like Monday, Tuesday. So I would recommend that that's something we do push as a narrative. I've been mocked on X about it. I know you guys have seen it. We get mocked about our market cap all the time. Fuck them. We don't care about that. The reality is we want to add them as holders. So do what you can to just try to onboard some people. And I'm going to lead by example and continue to do the same, right? And I think that together, that's how we really prosper. And here's the thing, if they release those files, we're probably going to be so much higher, we can't even understand it. It's going to be such a unique situation. But I don't want us to have this expectation that we can just sit on our ass and these files get dropped and we win. Because the reality is someone's going to come in and scoop that opportunity from us. It's going to happen. We know how they operate. They already tried to do an official John F. Kennedy coin and they couldn't even fucking get it off Radium. And then, well, they did. And then they did another one, same account. So the only reason I noticed that I typed JFK in the search bar, and I was like, there's a JFK coin. And it was at like 10K market cap. And I was like, oh, it's already dumped. I'm like, damn. And maybe that's how we got some new holders this week too, is because they might have seen ours and realized we've been around a while and they jumped into ours. I don't know. I can't tell you that definitively, but I think as we go along, we might hear from some of these holders and they might tell us otherwise. So those are the things I'm thinking about. And I just want you guys to know, like, the journey's been long. You guys are fucking rock stars. This is crazy. They'll call us crazy until we're not, right? And that's been a very, very real thing for me. Just to give you guys a little insight, like the first 2 years I ran my hemp business, I only did like $80,000 in gross in 2 years. And then I became a multi-million-dollar hemp business. It sucked. It was very discouraging. Even though I had the client base, but I was too early. But I knew that if I called every store in the whole country, which I did multiple times, every head shop and vape shop in the country, that eventually, and I emailed them and got them accounts set up on my site for drop shipping, that eventually, when it took off, they'd be getting my marketing emails and they would go, oh, I know exactly where I'm going to go order. And guess what? It fucking worked. So, you manifest it. You believe in something and you just don't give up. And that's what we're doing here. Thank God we don't need to do this for 3 years because crypto years is like a month. So in that case, we're at year 8. It's time to jump, baby. It's time to go to the moon, right? Like that's where I feel we're at, and that's where I want to go. So if anybody has any questions for me, I'm an open book. I'm here, quite a bit. My job has become a little more demanding lately, and that's okay. But every chance I have to deal with this and to check in on here and on Telegram, I do. So always hit me up. If you don't want it to be a group question, you can reach out to me direct in the DMs. If you hold JFK and I don't follow you, holler at me in a comment and I'll follow you back. And you're more than welcome to hit me up in the DM. And if I don't see your DM, please just understand that I have literally like so many groups I'm in and so much going on. And I have my pinned stuff up top, which is like A1 most important things to look at daily so that I don't miss them. And then everything else just kind of gets like, holy shit. So if I don't see it, just say, hey, I DM'd you, and I'll click your profile and go straight to the message button on your profile, and I'll be able to pull your message up. And then I will totally respond back to you. I do not do it out of disrespect, so I don't want anyone to think that. I really do appreciate all of you guys, and I want you to know, building this together has been the most interesting, unique experience that I've ever gone through, and I've been through some shit. So, but this is fun to me. This is something that I believe in, and I believe in all of you, and I think we're going somewhere very, very great. So, I appreciate everybody's time tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to jump up here and hit me up and catch me while I'm live on here. I'm here. If you don't, that's okay. If you think of something later, like I said, just reach out. But we are going places. I don't doubt it at all. And I'm manifesting that shit. And I ask you all just continue to manifest it with me. And if they release those files they want, which you're going to see me basically just rapid posting about the files now, like non fucking stop all day on inauguration day. I'm going to be watching the inauguration. I'm going to run a space for us Monday for sure. Let me figure out what time that is. I don't know if everybody's off on Monday like I am, but I am off. So um, I would love to connect and be busy, pushing this as hard as we can during the files time and making things happen. I'm not in the same situation as Free Ross, but he's there. He's gonna be there with signs about Free Ross, which is so fucking cool, right? But I am here with you guys and I'm ready to fucking jam this. And I know that we can fucking do this. I don't doubt it at all. So I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. It's been a while since I've hosted a space. I've been just so fucking busy, but I love them. I enjoy this very much, and I appreciate the fact that you guys stayed in here and listened to me. And I hope you got something from this. I hope you see kind of the evolution in myself as well and what this has really done. So we're going places. And where we're going to stop, and I'm going to set this hairy audacious goal, right? Like it's $1 billion market cap. That's where we're fucking going. How quick we get there determines how much we all put in together and what we're willing to do to get there. But we will get there. That is my goal. I cannot give you financial advice and say we're going to hit $1 billion. So don't take it that way. But coming from a perspective of a team and we're working together for a common goal, $1 a coin is what I want to fucking see. And I think JFK deserves that. Like he deserves to be $1 billion token. If there was, I mean, to be honest, he deserves it more than almost anybody that has a token worth $1 billion. So he should be there. We should be a top meme. We should definitely be in the top 50. We really should. And that's it. So have a good night, guys. Love all you. It's been a hell of an experience. I'll see you guys in the Twitter world or the X world later, guys. Bagel, thanks for coming in.